What's up, guys? My name's Zorberg747. We're going to look at another map today in the map guide series, and today we're going to look at Ilios. Ilios is again a control point map. There's going to be 3 separate locations with a point that you have to capture, and we're just going to dive straight into it. So going on the left-hand route here, there's a large health kit right before you enter this room, and from this room, you can either run right here and be straight at the point, which is in this area, or you can go on these scaffolds and either try and defend the point or attack the point from right here, so provide cover fire for any of your teammates that are on the point itself. Or you can drop down, go over here, and try and sneak your way into the point and get anyone who comes from this ramp right here or from that ramp right here by staying in this little point right here. There is also a middle route that is pretty self-explanatory. You can either go down this ramp, you can jump up past this, whoops, there we go, or you can go down this ramp. And finally, there is a route on the right hand side. There's a large health pack in this building as well, and you can just go over here. You can try and flank the enemy team if you want to, but if anyone's going to go for that large health pack, they might see you, and you don't have anywhere to hide, so to speak. It's all out in the open, so just keep that in mind if you're going to try and flank. Now, the point itself is actually a big mistake I see people doing on this map is they all try and defend on this point itself. And that's not really great, because if we're looking on this point, you have no visibility at all. You can kind of see up on the scaffolds, but for the most part, you really have a view of nothing when you're on the point itself. Now, if you want to defend on the lower levels, that's fine, but you want to stay in this area right here. That way, you at least have a better angle on the scaffolds, and anyone who comes down these 2 ramps that are in front of me, I'll be much more likely be able to catch them by surprise, and I won't be as out in the open as I would be just standing on here. And a better way to defend is to jump up right here and defend from over here. If you're a long-range hero like McCree or Soldier 76, Widowmaker, something like that, is to just defend right here, because I can see much more of where the enemy team's coming from, and I can pick them off much easier than if I was sitting on the point itself. It's also good to have 1 or 2 people on the scaffolds and someone like over here to make sure they don't sneak by you and get into this area right here, because then it's very easy for them to just run out and capture the point from right under your nose. And you also want to have 1 or 2 people over on this right hand side of the map, just to make sure they don't all push from this side and catch you completely off guard. Now, as far as attacking goes, the best way to attack on this map is to have 1 or 2, maybe even 3 people push the point. And what I mean by that is, say you're a Reinhardt and you're just going to have 1 or 2 people behind you. You're going to push onto the point like so. You're going to have your shield up for anyone who's in front of you. You want to have 1 person behind you look to the right and make sure no one's on the scaffolding or in this small area. And you also want to have some people get on this right here, so they'll be able to pick off anyone who comes from the enemy side, anyone who's sniping over there. And you also want to have like maybe 1 person on this side of the map, just to make sure that anyone trying to defend from over here is going to be distracted fighting you. Now, this map is actually pretty good for a Widowmaker. You can jump on the roof of this temple, and you don't have too much visibility, but you have some visibility here. You can jump up here and have visibility of most of the point. You can also jump up on this column right here, and you have much more visibility, but you're also more exposed here, so it's kind of a trade-off. But I usually like to have at least 1 good Widowmaker on this map, just to provide a little bit of cover fire. So we're going to move on to the next area here. That's pretty much it for point C. And right here we're going to have point A. This point has a lot of buildings and a lot of routes you can go through, so we're just going to go from left to right. This isn't a route, it just goes back to the spawn. So we'll go right here. There is a little room right here with nothing in it. Again, just kind of almost a red herring to throw you off. We'll just go straight here. And now you can go straight to the point from here, almost in like an L route. There's also these little buildings you can always duck into. There's a small health kit in here. There's a large health kit in here that also leads to the point. There is a building in the middle-ish area right here with another large health kit. Actually, that's the same one. My bad. There's also a staircase route. Here we go. Which leads you to this upper level, and it leads you up here, which is actually really nice because you can have a good angle. You can actually shoot out these railings if you need to, and you have a good angle on anyone who is in the point itself and anyone who is coming into the point, because unless they get on your side of the spawn, they're not going to be able to get to the point without you seeing them from this angle. So this is a good position to have, whether you're trying to capture or defend the point. And there is also a few other routes to the right of the map, so one of them being over here. And if you are a Widowmaker or anyone with a long range weapon, this is not a terrible place to be. You can kind of see anyone that's going to be on the outside, and you can kind of see in the point, but it's not as good as that area I just showed you. And you're also going to have this building here with the pool. You have a large health kit, and you'll be able to come right out, and you'll be right at the point itself. That's pretty much it for how to get to the point. Now the point itself is, once again, pretty good for defending. You're not really exposed. There's a lot of cover that you can duck behind. So all of these areas, you will have to watch the different entrances. There's a little small health kit to note right here. You kind of have to watch all these entrances though, because a lot of times they're going to rush straight into the point. And another thing that people don't often utilize is this rooftop right up here. And you can actually, as I'm just showing you right now, get to the point from right here. So what I like to do sometimes as, say, Genji, is I'll run this way. Everyone will be fighting in the point. I'll run up here, get to this upper level, and especially if I have my ultimate or something, I'll get in this window, jump down, use my ultimate, and it'll completely catch everybody by surprise, because not a lot of people know about this little window up here. And you can also stay up here if you're like a Widowmaker or another long-range hero, and then jump down if you need to contest the point. So this is a nice little area right here as well. Other than that, you really just want to stay away from these sides. There will be a lot of Lucios on this map most likely, so you don't want to get knocked off. If you're a Pharah, hanging out here and just firing rockets into the point is a pretty good tactic. Just make sure you don't get caught with no jet and no fly, so that you don't fall off the point. And other than that, that's pretty much it for this particular area. So this last point we're going to have is what I like to call the well. If you've played this map, you probably know what I'm talking about. And this is not the right point. So the well is mainly recognized by the big well that's in the middle of the control point. It's a pretty fun map. A lot of times you'll have people too afraid to go into the point because they're afraid of getting hooked by a roadhog or getting pushed off by a Lucio. And we are gonna have the well right here. And am I mistaken? Maybe? Yes, I am. I apologize for that, guys. Ilios has a lot of different buildings and they all look the same, so it's pretty easy to get the points mixed up until you get to the control point themselves. Alright, so we keeps giving me A. Just a little tip as far as control point goes, since I have a little bit of time. A team composition that you might want to think about using is utilizing a double Lucio, double Winston, double Tracer comp. And the reason that's so good is you have the Lucios that give you the mobility to get there first, so you can capture the point before the enemy team. You have the Tracers that are and the Winstons, which will contest the point very easily. So if your opponents are trying to capture the point, you can just run on there as Tracer, blink in, contest the point, fire a few shots, rewind. The other Tracer can go in and contest it. You can just keep doing that with Winstons and Tracers, and that's a pretty effective control strategy. So now we're going to move to point B, and this is going to be the well. So we'll go to the right this time. You can go up these staircases, note the large health pack, and you're on these upper levels. So from here you can go across these walkways, or you can just jump across them if you have high mobility, and you will see the well and the control point right here. You don't have a whole lot of visibility up here, but if you are a Widowmaker, this is kind of a safer spot. But you can also jump up here and or jump up right here, and you'll have much more visibility and a much easier time trying to defend or attack the point. You also have this little room right here by the well. It has a small health pack, and you'll be right by the point, so that's always nice. And you'll also have these little buildings you can go through. So there's this large health kit right here that leads straight to the point. There's a small health kit in this room, which again leads straight to the point. And there's also another upper level route that I did not show you guys. Here we go. There's also this way where you can jump down and get to the main area itself. So there's a lot of these little buildings with these health packs, so you always have access to health packs. You don't have to worry about that too much. And we'll go ahead and look at the control point itself. Obviously the main thing you notice is the well. Very ominous sounding when you go down here. And so this is a map where a Roadhog is actually really good, because what he does is he'll stand near the well, and anyone that he can pull in is going to fall into the well. Now if you pull in like a Lucio or something, it might not work too well, because he can get back onto the map by just riding around the circle and getting back up. So if you see like a character that can't get back up, say a Mercy can get back up, say a Zenyatta for example, like a healer, you want to hook them right here, and they're going to fall into the well. You're going to take out anyone, practically anyone, by doing that. So if you're a Roadhog, you want to just strafe the well like this and hook anybody that you can find. Now as far as defending or attacking this, it's mainly going to be people standing in this general area. They're going to stay away from the well. They don't want to be too near it because of the Roadhog Lucio shenanigans that happen. So long range heroes do pretty well on this map. They can control anyone that's on the opposite side. They can see anyone that tries to come from this angle. You always want to have one or two people going in the buildings just to make sure no one is trying to flank you. But other than that, it's basically going to be whoever the long range heroes are, which ones are better, which can contain the point first, and which ones can defend the point that way. So that's pretty much it for Ilios. Thank you guys so much.